So what kind of clothes is actually selling on reselling platforms, especially in the fall? We're going to talk about that in today's What Sold video. Stay tuned.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body treatments for your neck.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park. I'm a part-time reseller on a variety of reselling platforms, and I'm also someone who only does this part-time. I am a full-time high school choir teacher. I also am a mom to 2 young ones. I'm married. I'm involved at my church. I do a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats, and someone on Instagram told me today, she's like, you need to take care of yourself and you need to have like a spa day or something. I do need to, but because of a very consuming side hustle, which is reselling and YouTube, and because of the fact that my full-time job is pretty time-consuming as well, I don't have a lot of spa days in my life. I'm working on it though, I promise. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what sold for me in the week of October 3rd through the 9th. It was a modest week. It was not, a knock it out of the ballpark kind of week, but that's kind of the reality of reselling. You don't get ton of those. You get a lot of like regular normal weeks and then, some really amazing weeks. And this was just a whatever week. So we're going to talk about what sold. And I do think that maybe some of these things are the kinds of things that you will have some luck selling yourself if you find them at the thrift store and whatnot, which is why I like to make these videos. I like to share with you what kinds of things are selling for me so that you have an idea of what things are worth being on the lookout for and what things maybe you just leave behind. So we're going to start by talking about Monday, which was October 3rd. And I had one Poshmark sale, which was this Woolrich oatmeal snap button pullover sweater in a men's size extra large. It did have a pocket on the front chest, I believe. It was very reminiscent of like a Patagonia sweater jacket type thing. And I do think these kinds of layering pieces, they're not full-on jackets. You just kind of throw them on over something. I do think that these are doing really well right now, especially by brands like Patagonia. Woolrich is okay, even LL Bean. There are some great brands out there that are meant to be worn outdoors as it starts getting chilly. So this particular one sold for $35. I have had it listed for many months at this point, like almost a year. And I only had $1.02 into it because it's something that I got from a local reseller who wanted to get out of the reselling game. So I was able to buy her inventory for really cheap, and therefore I did make a profit on this piece of $26.98. So this style has been selling really well for me, and even though Woolrich isn't like the most popular brand, I was able to make over a $20 profit on that. The next thing to sell was over on eBay, and it was this pair of Universal Standard mid-rise blue skinny jeans in a size 8. You're going to notice that I sold a ton of denim this week, and part of the reason for that is because I listed a ton of denim, and you tend to sell what you list. But I also think that it is a trend of what's doing well online right now is denim. People are stocking up on their denim staples because it is colder weather, and jeans are the kinds of things that people are wearing outdoors when it's cold out. Universal Standard also happens to be a really great brand. They're very size inclusive. They make a lot of great staples for any person's wardrobe. And so these sold for $34.99 fairly quickly. I mean, I want to say that these were listed only for a week or two. And I only had $2 into them because I picked them up at the Goodwill outlet in Seattle. So that was really exciting. And I made a profit of $27.16 on those jeans. The next item to sell was not a home run. It was this new with tags Vigo, which I don't even know where this is sold. I want to say like a Kohl's or something, but it was this blue striped pullover hoodie. It had a Henley neckline, a kangaroo pocket on the front, and it was in a men's size large. I would have never picked this up at the thrift store. It, just looked very basic. Even though it was new with tags, I could tell it wasn't going to be worth a ton of money, but it's something that I got in a ThredUp box. So I just went ahead and listed it. It sold for $10 on eBay. I was just happy to move it, and I made a profit of $4.77. So you had some pretty decent sales, profit above $25, and then you had this stinker in here, and that's the reality of reselling, especially when you're selling a lot of bread and butter. Now this day, I also tried consigning for the second time at a pop-up consignment sale that rolls through my town twice a year. I've shopped this consignment sale a ton, probably for the past 4 years or something like that, but this was only my second time consigning. I did it the last sale and it did okay. I mean, I think I made probably a couple $100, and that's about what happened here too. So the kinds of things that I take to this pop-up consignment sale are just things that I really don't want to list myself. I've probably already tried taking them to Plato's, or I know that it's really mature brands that won't do well at Plato's. And the way that it works is if you're like me and you don't want to work the consignment sale, you're going to get 60% of what your item sells for, which is pretty good. That's much better than like a Plato's Closet or anything anyway. It's just that a lot of that stuff isn't necessarily going to sell. So I don't even know how many. I want to say I brought like over 200 pieces and 76 items sold. They sold for $356.50. Now, 60% of that I was able to pocket was $213.90. There's also a $10 registration fee. So I made $203.90. I'll be honest with you, I don't really know how much I had into those 76 items. A lot of it is stuff that I got for free, but a lot of it is also stuff that came to me in thread-up boxes or in pallets and things of that nature. And to be honest, I probably had like a decent amount into those items. So I'm just estimating that I had $100 into those 76 items. It could be more, it could be less. I don't know. So I'm saying that my profit from that consignment sale was $103.90. So the question I really have to ask myself is it worth it then to continue consigning at this consignment sale? And the one thing that is pretty frustrating about the consignment sale is that some sales that I've been a part of, I used to be a part of like a kids consignment sale. The nice thing was you actually you actually loaded your items online, and so as things sold, you could see what items sold and how much they sold for, and that gave you a really good idea of how to price things. But for this sale, you handwrite your tag, and when something sells, they give you an itemized receipt at the end showing you everything that sold. It comes with the check in the mail, but it doesn't tell you what the item was. And so you don't have an idea of, okay, I priced those jeans at $10. Was it worth it, or did it end up just getting donated? It's something that I wish I had more information about so that I could, price things better and know what items are worth bringing, what items are worth my time. I'll probably try it out again, but if I'm not able to make that much more than $200, I probably won't bother. It's not really worth my time. On Tuesday, which was October 4th, on Poshmark, I sold this Hannah Anderson black quilted puffer jacket in a size like 140 centimeters, which is the same as a youth size 10. That sold for $25. I had purchased it last year sometime at a garage sale for $6, and so my profit on that was $14. If you have jackets of any kind in your death pile waiting to be listed, you should make those a priority, because this is the time that people are looking at their closets and they're asking themselves, what am I wearing outside this season? And this is when they're making their purchases. They're not waiting until it's already super cold outside. So you have to make sure that you're listing your cold weather, outerwear and accessories right now. This is the time to do it. And then on eBay, I sold this pair of American Eagle high-rise jegging 360 next level stretch skinny jeans in a size 10. I told you denim is selling. These sold for $17. I think I've shared this before, but the price of American Eagle jeggings are just going lower and lower and lower, especially as the skinny jean trend really kind of makes its way out. And not only that, but just American Eagle in general just doesn't sell as well for me as it used to. I had $3.99 into those. I don't remember. I think I got them at a local thrift store, and so I made a profit of $9.48. Again, we're trying to, make a profit of $20 on each item. That clearly wasn't doing it. It didn't even sell for $20. And so I'm definitely slowing down on the amount of American Eagle denim that I pick up in the future. The next day of sales that we'll talk about is Wednesday, October 5th. On Poshmark, I sold 2 pairs of jeans and 1 amazing dress. So the first pair of jeans that we'll talk about is this pair of Miss Me low-rise dark wash ankle skinny jeans in a size 23 by 29. Y'all, these jeans have so many strikes against them. They are low rise, which it terrifies me that low rise jeans are selling. What if it makes a comeback? And it kind of has. Like, if you see what celebrities are wearing, if you see like Julia Fox and just all the, like, low rise definitely has come back, and it really frightens the bejesus out of me. But not only were they low rise, they were a size 23. That is tiny. So these sold for $31. I had a $1.72 shipping discount on those because of Poshmark VA, which is a Chrome extension that I use to help me do a lot of my Poshmark tasks like sharing my closet, sending out offers to likers. I do have a coupon code down below if you want to check it out. But I had $2.52 into these because I took a chance on them and picked them up at a local consignment store not too long ago when they had a birthday sale, and it was like shove everything you can in a bag, and each bag cost $25. So my average cost of goods for everything that I got at that sale was $2.52, which is pretty amazing. And that's why I picked up the low rise size 23 jeans, and I made a profit of $20.56. You know, people will tell you like what you should pick up, what you should leave behind, including me. I'm telling you right now, like what I think you should leave behind and what kinds of things I think you should pick up. But also like you just have to trust your gut sometimes. Even if you're looking at something and you're like, everyone told me not to pick this up. If you have a feeling that it could do well and you're only paying $2.52, I don't think there's real harm in trying it out, especially because if it wasn't worth picking up, the act of like having to still go through the process of photographing it and listing it and shipping it, it'll really teach you the lesson of checking comps and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know, I just had a feeling about these and they sold really fast and they sold for decent money. The next thing to sell was another pair of jeans from the same sale. This was the brand BKE, which I believe is a buckle brand. These were the Peyton dark wash skinny jeans in a size 27. I used to pass on this brand all the time, and I've seen it many, many times at my local thrift stores, but I just thought for whatever reason that there was no value in them until I received a few pairs from the local reseller who sold me her inventory. I believe she had a few pairs of these jeans and they sold really fast and they sold for decent money. Definitely better than like what I was getting for American Eagle jeans. And now when I see them, if the price is right, which I think $2.52, the price is right, then I will go ahead and pick them up. And I made a profit on those jeans after discounted shipping because again, Poshmark VA, and after my cost of goods, my profit was $20.56. That's exactly where I want to be. I want to make at least $20 of profit on each item. I'm not going to accomplish that every single time, and sometimes I will do much better than that, but that I think was a really great sale. The next thing to sell, oh, this was amazing. It was this new with tags, Lulu's Awaken My Love burgundy long sleeve lace maxi dress in a women's size extra large. I am not a good Lulu's reseller. Like I pick up all things Lulu's and sit on all things Lulu's for months and months and months and sell them for pennies. So I have really cooled off on Lulu's. I leave way more of it behind now than I actually pick up. This, however, I had that feeling. I was like, this is special. This is beautiful. It was in a larger size. It was long sleeve. It was maxi, and it was new with tags. So I picked it up for $6.99 at my local Goodwill. I was shocked that they didn't price it up because they price up everything. And it sold for $55 within, I want to say a week or two of being listed. So my profit on that was $37.01. Again, don't pick stuff up just because it's Lulu's, but do your research, look up comps. There is a ton of Lulu's out there. And for whatever reason, there's a ton of new with tags Lulu's out there. And that used to get me every time. I was like, okay, I guess you're coming home with me. You're new with tags and you're Lulu's. That means diddly squat. Make sure you're checking comps on Lulu's because there's a lot that will not sell. It'll sit for a long time. And then on eBay, I sold another pair of BKE Parker jeans. These were the universal fit high-rise skinny jeans, again in a size 27. They came from the same sale. I'm assuming they came from the same person, and they sold for $30 on eBay. I only had $2.52 into them, so I made a profit of $22.14. So what have I learned? BKE jeans sell pretty well, and if I see denim at the thrift store that I don't know the brand and I don't know how it doesn't hurt to do some research and just look up comps, because I could have been picking up BKE this whole time, but I've left behind so much of it just because I was kind of a snob. The next day of sales that we'll talk about is Thursday, which was October 6th. I had one sale, and it was this Sundance knit silk blend Danica sweater coat in a size extra small. This one hurt a little bit. It hurt because I had it listed really high. I want to say I had it listed for like 75, maybe 65, because in my opinion, it was beautiful. And it's, basically like a coat. I got a lot of lowball offers on it. I had a lot of interest on it. Everyone basically was just telling me, though, through not purchasing it, that it was priced too high. And I didn't really want to accept that reality. So I finally got an offer on this on eBay for $40. And at first I kind of balked at the offer because I was like, $40, it's way too low. I looked up comps, and sure enough, I mean, these were definitely on the lower side of comps, but that's about where this was comping out. And so I swallowed my pride. I accepted the offer, especially because I only had $1.02 into it because it came from the local reseller buyout. It was promoted at 3%. I still made a profit of $32.65. And it's just a reminder that successful resellers go off of data and research. They don't just go off of, but I think it's pretty. And I think sometimes they still function like that. And I think it's okay to function like that sometimes every once in a while. You know, if there are things that you just cannot bear the thought of letting go of for a certain price, for whatever reason, maybe you've got some nostalgia tied into it, or maybe, you know, whatever the reason is, you do you. It's your reselling business, but you cannot operate your entire business like that. If there are a few pieces here and there, fine. But if that's every item and you are not willing to let go of your American Eagle denim unless it sells for $50, you're going to have a rough go of it when it comes to reselling. So moving on to Friday, which was October 7th, on eBay, I sold this pair of new Picolinos Red Rotterdam. That was the style name. Leather ankle boots. They had kind of like a braided not trim, but like wraparound situation. I don't even know. And they were in a women's size 7.5. These were at the bins in Seattle. These brand new Picolinos boots. And they weren't even like messed up from being thrown around in the bins. Like somebody said to themselves, I don't need these brand new boots. I'm just gonna donate them to Goodwill. And I found them at the bins. It's amazing. And you know, I'm so tired of the argument of people who are like, you know, resellers are the scum of the earth because they buy stuff at thrift stores for... I mean, if you saw the amount of waste that is in the back rooms of these thrift stores and at these Goodwill outlets, if you saw the amount that ends up in landfills and gets shipped overseas, creating all of these problems for countries who just don't have the ability to do anything about it. If you saw all of that, you'd be like, you know, resellers are really saving the world. And I feel like maybe I'm not saving the world yet, but I did save these boots and I was able to rehome them because they deserved a new home. They were brand new, they were beautiful, and this was the season for them. If you've got boots at home, you need to list those babies right now. So these sold for $80. I had $2.50 into them because they came from the bins, and I made a profit on those boots of $61.83. Picolinos is another brand that I used to leave behind all the time for some reason. Okay, not all the time. It's not like I was finding it all the time. But I do remember leaving it behind because I remember seeing the style, not being super impressed. Like Picolinos is definitely not my aesthetic. It's not my vibe. And I remember thinking like the tag looked cheap. I didn't do my research. And then I'm watching other people's YouTube channels and they're like, I sold this Picolinos for $75 and this Picolinos for $50. And I'm like, why am I leaving this behind at the thrift store? So thankfully, by the time I came across these at the Goodwill outlet, I had already learned my lesson. I picked them up and I made a $61.83 profit. I mean, I think that deserves a slow clap, don't you? The next sale from Friday the 7th was over on Mercari, and it was this Eileen Fisher cream 100% silk tiered layered tunic in a size large. This I also picked up at that birthday consignment sale, so I only had $2.52 into it. It sold for $34, which was a little bit less than I was hoping for because it was 100% silk, but also, you know, it's just like a very basic piece, so I let it go for $34 when I got that offer, and I made a profit of $26.79. I don't know what it is about Eileen Fisher, but it's true. Like, Eileen Fisher is every reseller's best friend in that it just does really well in the reselling space. And I think it's because their products are made with integrity and with quality fabrics. So I get it. I mean, I get it, but it's just very like minimalist, very neutral. And sometimes some pieces will not fetch as much money for those reasons as well. And then moving on to Saturday, which was October 8th, on Mercari, I sold this pair of Kush, I don't know. I've never seen this brand before, but it was this pair of brown Baja Chill. That was the style name. Is that not also like a Mountain Dew flavor or maybe like a drink specially sold at Taco Bell? I don't know. Baja Chill was the style name, and they were these lace-up suede shoes with the Vibram sole in a men's size 10. I found these at a Goodwill near where my in-laws live, and even though I didn't know the brand, I liked the fact that they were made of suede, and I liked the fact that they had a Vibram sole. That automatically means that there's some quality construction in place. And so, I looked up comps. There were not very many comps to go off of. There just weren't even very many comps for this shoe brand, period. It wasn't even like I was having a hard time finding comps for this style. I was just having a hard time finding comps for this particular brand. And I don't know if that means it's a brand that's not widely available in America. I don't know, but I still took a chance on them because of the fact that, like I said, they were suede, they had a Vibram sole. I paid $6.99 for them, and they sold for $34 on Mercari, and I made a profit of $22.33. So again, glad that I trusted my gut, even though comps didn't really have much information to give me. I thought that was a really good sale. And they sold pretty quickly. They sold, within a month of being listed. And then the final day of sales that we'll talk about in this video is Sunday, October 9th. I had a couple Poshmark sales. The first one, another Eileen Fisher sale. These were new with tags, Eileen Fisher organic cotton and hemp blend lantern pants in the color seaweed. So that's what it said on the tag. Clearly they were like a greenish color in a women's size 10 petite. A lot of people say that they don't pick up petite. I like selling petite clothes, and it actually sells pretty well for me. I'm always on the lookout for petite clothes. Like if you've got that little P in your listing, I'm all over it because I'm so short. My legs are so short. My arms are so short. I'm just a very short person. And so if I can pick up something that's petite and I don't have to, go get it hemmed or anything like that, I'm all about that life. And so knowing that there are people out there like me, I don't shy away from petite. And I've made some really great sales selling petite clothes, including this pair of pants, which sold for $81. That was with discounted shipping because of Posh VA. And actually, I can't take full credit for these in that, I didn't source them myself, but they did show up at my house as part of a wholesale pallet that I purchased off of a reseller. And so I had $3.92 into them, and I made a profit of $59.16 on a pair of petite pull-on pants. So again, don't turn your nose up at petite clothes. Obviously, it helped that this was Eileen Fisher, and it helped that it was new with tags, but also, people are out there looking for petite, people are out there looking for tall, people are out there looking for big and tall. I think it only benefits your closet to be size inclusive. The next thing to sell was another pair of Miss Me jeans and another pair of Miss Me jeans that were in a size 23. Again, do not discriminate against the little, but this was a pair of Miss Me signature skinny dark wash low-rise jeans. They had rhinestones all over them, again in a size 23. They sold for $30. I had $2.52 into them because they were from that birthday consignment sale. I'm willing to bet money that the same person who owned these owned the other pair of Miss Me jeans that I bought that were in a size 23. So I made a profit of $21.48. As you saw, tons of jeans sold this week. A lot of jeans that maybe, a lot of people would tell you shouldn't be picking up. Low rise, really small sizes. They were still doing well for me, and I was still making a profit of over $20. And then the last sale that we'll talk about was this eBay sale. You guys, I should know how to say this brand name because I've been at this reselling thing for almost 5 years now. I don't know how to say it. I'm going to butcher it, and I'm so sorry. Desigua? I should know how to say this. I'm so sorry that I don't. But it was a dress. The style, I believe, was called Karuka, and it was this floral multi-print cap sleeve dress in a size medium. I've never been a fan of this brand's aesthetic. It's just not something that I would wear. Not that I have anything against people who like their clothes. It's just very out there as far as prints are concerned. It's very colorful. It's very bold. It's very bright. And again, not that I'm against any of those things. I've just never found a piece by this brand that really spoke to me in that way. But I sold this dress for $25. Maybe I could have waited around and gotten a little bit more for it. But I was happy with that because I picked it up at that birthday sale, paid $2.52 for it. And so I made a profit of $19.26. And I was happy with that. So it was not a monstrous week of sales, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. But I was really happy because a lot of the stuff that sold was stuff that, wasn't listed for very long, and I was really happy about the pieces that sold that I was even kind of unsure about, like the really small Miss Me jeans, and it was really cool to just see kind of my instinct pay off, and knowing that reselling can and should be fun too. It doesn't have to all be about follow the rules and check all the comps, and again, those are the responsible things to do, let's be honest, but I think that there's a little give and take. Yes, you should check comps and you should do those things, but also I think it's okay to pick things up because you're like, oh, that's kind of cute, or because you're like, even though this goes against, what everyone says, the size is a bad size, it's not like a trendy, style right now. If your gut is telling you to go for it, I don't know, like just do it. And for me, it was a fun week of sales because a lot of things that I took chances on did well. So pat on the back for me. Let's talk about my numbers. On Poshmark, I sold 7 items, which, is not amazing for me because I typically average, I don't know, like in the last few weeks, let's see, like 9, 5, oof, that was a rough week, 11, 12. I usually sell like at least 10 things a week. I would say last year it was like more like 15 items a week. So 7 is a little bit on the lower side, but that was for a gross sales amount of $288. Once you factor in Poshmark's 20% fees, any shipping discounts that were offered because of Posh VA, that total drops to $225.24. My cost of goods for those 7 items was $25.49. And so my net profit on Poshmark was $199.75. On eBay, I also sold 7 items, and that was for a gross sales amount of $236.99. Once you factor in eBay's fees, and that includes any maybe like promoted fee listings, just their regular fees, maybe any shipping discrepancies, that total drops to $194.84. I had $17.55 into those 7 items, and so I made a net profit on eBay of $177.29. On Mercari, I sold 2 items for a gross sales amount of $68. Once you factor in Mercari's fees, that total drops to $58.63. My cost of goods for those 2 items was $9.51, and so I made a net profit of $49.12 on those 2 items. And then I did, like I shared earlier, sell a bunch of items at a pop-up consignment sale. I sold 76 items for $356.50. However, my payout, once you subtract the $10 registration fee, I got 60% of the amount that I just told you, so my payout was $203.90. I'm estimating $100 as my cost of goods. I don't know how accurate it is, but I wanted to like throw something in there. So we're saying that my net profit from that consignment sale was $103.90. So in total, it sounds crazy because of the consignment sale, but I'm saying that I sold 112 items in the first full week of October for a gross sales amount of $949.49. Once you factor in fees, once you factor in shipping, all that kind of stuff, that total drops to $682.61. My cost of goods for those 112 items was $152.55. And so my net profit for the week was $530.06. Obviously, the consignment sale helped quite a bit. Without it, my total would have been a lot lower. And yeah, it was an average week. It wasn't amazing, but pretty average for the year that we've been having. I've just been seeing lower numbers this year in the year of 2022. And it's for some reasons that maybe are in my control, but also for many reasons that are outside of my control. So I'm not going to sweat it. I have already done my numbers for the next week, and they thankfully were a bit better by like over $100. But just in general, I'm seeing lower numbers. I just think that people don't have as much money to spend, frivolously or just on like clothes and things of that nature. And that's okay. But for the people out there who are looking to get clothes at a good deal online, I'm going to keep listing for those people and continue to earn money on the side of my full-time job. And I think that that's really cool. Even if it's not as much as I made last year, it's okay. Money is money, income is income. And I'm extremely thankful to supplement my teacher income in this way. So that is the video for this week. If you enjoyed it, I would love it if you could like the video, if you would share it on your social media so that other people learn about my channel and about these kinds of videos. For me, these are my favorite kinds of videos to watch just because I feel like I learn the most about what to pick up, from watching What Sold videos. And if you do enjoy a good What Sold video or even thrift hauls or, tips and tricks type videos, definitely make sure that you subscribe to my channel because I do try to upload 2 videos a week. I've kind of been missing the mark a little bit in the last few months, but I feel like I'm getting back into the flow of things. So I hope you guys are enjoying your fall. I know here it's about to get freezing cold tomorrow after seeing 70s for the past like 2 weeks. So that's going to be quite a shift and just something that I'm going to have to get used to, but that's okay. It's really starting to feel like fall, and before you know it, the holidays are going to be upon us. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!